the more you wonder about and question everything in the world around you, the more likely you are to be really successful, especially as an entrepreneur and innovator.
How powerful is it to wonder like a child?
Yeah, as you know, I am a big proponent. What happens to us as adults is we get so used to our surrounding that we stop really questioning stuff. And the world's biggest innovators, right before you, I just got off a phone call. I was just on a Zoom with Steve Wozniak, right? And Woz created something pretty cool, right? He and Steve Jobs created Apple. And Woz and I were just talking before this, and I was thinking about that, his personality type, right? Is he's wonders about everything, curious about everything. And the reason that I use that analogy in my TED Talk was that 5-year-olds question everything. What is that? Why? How does that work? Why is that blue? Why do you have to open that? You say to a 5-year-old, put on your shoes. Why? Because we're getting in the car. Why? Because we have to go to the store. Why? Because we need food. Why? Because we'll die if we don't eat. Why? They never stop asking why. But then I started to notice that people like Woz, super innovators in the world, still do that. And so I started to realize that the more you wonder about and question everything in the world around you, the more likely you are to be really successful, especially as an entrepreneur and innovator. By the way, for me, I was standing in that line at the airport and asking the woman, saying, why are we all standing in line so you can use the printer? And she's like, next customer. And I was like, no, wait, I don't understand. Why is this the process? And she said, because I have to verify that it's you. And then I have to print out a boarding pass for you and check you into the flight. And I was like, why do you have to do it? Why does it have to be back here? Why can't we do it ourselves? Right? Why isn't there a way we can validate our own identity? Asking all these questions. And she was completely just like, next. But if I hadn't asked a million whys and wondered about why it worked that way, I never would have gone home thinking about it. And we never would have created that product.
Jeff, I just want to pause for a second. I'm sorry to interrupt you. Let's dissect that. So that woman, okay, you're asking all these questions there. She's probably your typical average employee, right?
Yeah.
So as you're asking her these questions, you're annoying her.
Oh yeah, big time.
You're making her think and do things she don't want to do. She don't want to think, right?
Right.
So you're on the opposite side of the entrepreneurship spectrum with her right there. And
you got it.
Why do you think most people are like this stereotypical entrepreneur, this stereotypical woman in this scenario, the stereotypical employee, where they don't want to hear questions, they don't want to think? Like, why is this?
Yeah,
how'd you go from a kid to that? Like, she
environment.
was a kid one time, right? Asking questions. Like, what happened?
Yeah, I think a lot of that's environment for everybody listening to us today. Do you just get annoyed when your kid starts asking you a million questions, or you put down what you're doing, sit down and follow the whole conversation with them? I think it's environmental. I think that we could all do a lot better by letting our own mind wander sometimes, right? And by, if you're a parent listening to this, when your kid's asking annoying questions, instead of being annoyed, maybe look at them and say, this might be the next Steve Jobs or Wozniak, because my daughter's asking me a million questions. So encourage them to wonder about everything, because that's where great ideas and innovation comes from. So I think it's largely environmental. In school, we're told to just shut up, do our work, don't talk to other students, and turn in our test. That is not what creates innovation.